Okay, there we go. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How's it going out there? We're glad to see you here this Thursday. Welcome to WebDM Twitch, where we are hanging out at the moment looking at a blog which lists a bunch of demons, translating it from French, and hopefully we get to summon some of them either in real life or perhaps in game. Who knows? We're just going to wing it and see. But we are glad to be here. And glad that the demons on this blog are not devouring our dreams or tickling us in our sleep, and playing some Cypher System as we venture into a Tales of the Wasteland and check out this band of misfits. But before all that business, how's everybody doing tonight? Grant, how's it going?
Well, as I hastily remove the gum I'm chewing from my mouth and place it on the desk in front of me, I'm doing great, Jim. I'm excited to be here this week. I had a lot of fun guest starring on the Tuesday night show, and I'm excited to sit behind the proverbial Game Master screen, which I don't use anyways, tonight for the Land Between Two Rivers Cypher Edition.
Yeah, there you go. And Lindy, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty spiffy. I am one earphone off in case the door knocks because my computer is on a FedEx truck right now, my new computer. So I'm eagerly awaiting that because, bless him, my current one's 9 years old and having hissy fits. But yeah, I'm excited to play this super lovable, huggable, half snake lady Caspia today. She's just great.
Excellent. And glad to hear. So I take it you're going to just like abandon us at some point because you're gonna have to bolt.
Well, if FedEx comes, then yeah. If not, I'm just gonna be real grumpy.
And TK, how's it going?
Hello, Jim. It's
Hello.
me. Just sitting here looking at French prison pockets. It's going great. Everything is exactly as it should be.
Yeah, it's pleasant. Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
There you go. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Because I'm definitely going to be talking about it in the backstage chat for the next 3 hours.
There we go. While we all try to keep a straight face.
You can do it. I believe in you. You don't have to DM through it, so
That's true.
You'll be fine.
That's very true. Sorry. And how's it going, Anna?
It's going. Also, they were talking about vagina pockets. So
that's where it was.
Anyway,
try not to say that on Twitch. We're gonna get banned.
Yeah.
The human body.
I put us in the anatomy category.
Don't look at me. Oh no.
It's educational.
Yeah, it's educational. See, this is why you come to the WebDM Twitch to not only RPG but also talk about the human body.
That is true. It is a educational franchise.
Yes,
yeah, and
much.
cyborg bodies. You know, we don't shame.
No,
whatever body you have.
Even whether if you've got like one head and 5 bodies.
Yeah, we support that.
Polybody. Been reading the
How would you sit on the toilet if you had one head and 5 bodies?
5 toilets. It's great.
Right beside each other?
Would you?
It's like we call it the porcelain flower. I will talk about it later.
Right. It'd have to be like maybe like at an angle on the wall.
I guess, like, honestly, if I were the only person in the world with 1 head and 5 bodies, I wouldn't use a toilet because the rules are different now.
Yeah.
Honestly,
right.
The rules are different. They don't apply to me anymore.
Just set me in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Do you poop, like, through every body?
Oh, snap. That's right. How many calories do you think you have to eat?
Do you ever stop eating?
50,000.
Your jaw would get worn out.
Well,
Yeah,
if you only have one person-sized brain for 5 bodies, then they might not, you might have problems. You might have to be like, God, it's tragic. We shouldn't make fun.
Would you have to wear diapers?
I would wear diapers. I mean, really, like, who's going to make fun of you? You already got 5 bodies.
True, but you could have the one designated body to, like, poop out of, unless
like,
the,
if you
like,
choose just
food.
one?
Yeah, you could choose one, or it just all comes out like tiny poop because you have 5 bodies.
You don't want to deal with a clog. You want as many exits as possible.
What if only one of your bodies is like right-handed and the rest are like left-handed? Could you imagine using scissors?
technically you'd be like ambidextrous.
Scissors.
See, here's how this goes. Somewhere in the world, Monty Cook right now is like, "Oh, they're playing my game on WebDM." That he tunes in. But the thing is, he's not even phased. He's taking notes. This is going in the next book.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's already like an FAQ of like, would you have to have 5 toilets? Maybe it's like a cat litter box. Who knows?
Maybe the bathroom's like the sphere, and you just like walk yourself up the sides until you get in the right and settle in.
They stick you in one of those human hamster balls, and you have to walk around and deal with your own
you
mess.
have 5 bodies in one brain. Why wouldn't
Oh,
you
ew.
your digestive system? And
Honestly, like if I had 5
Photosynthesis.
bodies, I would want to live in a culture that does squat toilets.
easily, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, none of these thrones. No. None of the
Oh, but a bidet would be like 5 times. Never mind. Okay.
Except
I'm
for
going to mute
something
myself.
I just stand on one of those Vegas flat fountains where it's like, you know.
This is, yeah, there we go.
You'll never take me alive.
Josh,
Huh?
how's it going?
Hi. I'm eating a whole bag of bread because there's no food in the house, and
Yeah, I've seen that today.
I'm reading about childhood adventures. Would you guys want to do that? That would be really fun, I think.
In whose game?
Just like run a game where we all
Oh
play
yeah,
children.
like where y'all play children.
Like
Yeah.
Lost Boys. I want,
Sure, yeah.
what we should do is we play children, but it's like the Warriors in Waterdeep. It's like the movie The Warriors, but in Waterdeep.
But in Waterdeep.
Warriors.
Please. Yes.
To play.
Like I like that. The field mice and the badgers have a row. Somebody gets killed.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like
I could
gangs
stand to
of New
kill it.
York, but street urchins in Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or like what's
Blades
that
of
one
Dark
with
Reset.
The Outsiders?
No,
Like
thank
The
you.
Outsiders.
Oh, nice. I'll be the
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze character.
Yeah. Well, there we go. What a way to introduce the show. Thank you for joining us. And
We'll see you next week.
all right, big shout out to the channel sponsor, Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out for dice needs. I'm not going to take up any more time, but if you have a chance, go and look at them. They're always getting cool stuff in. Yeah, Tabletop Loot. And use our code WebDM15 for a little discount. Grant, last week we slew a sky kraken, yeah?
You did a cloud kraken, a creature of my own design. Purchase the game Reach of Titan to fight one yourself. You did, and last week I'll give a quick summation. The adventurers, who are dubbed the Ministering Angels of one Suzerain Kurosh Domine, the emissary of elemental chaos here in the land between two rivers, Laird of Fire and Frost, is a bit on the outs with their lover, the Veiled Grace, and has sent our heroes, our divine messengers, to deliver a humble apology, which is a gift that is packaged away for them to deliver. And they must find this demigod in a domain known as the Basalt Palace, which belongs to an individual known as the Potentate, who is rumored to be a fierce and frightening individual, but not to our beautiful angels, which consists of our party members. After dealing with the emo individual themselves, the party managed to accept this mission. Our Boulder rock friend, Caleb, in fact, won the heart of one of the ladies of the court, and they are currently traveling through a region known as Krakengard. Krakengard is notorious for having these fallen colossal skeletons of these ancient elemental and extraplanar entities, of which, if you see a mountain peak, there's a good chance a cloud kraken is perched on top. It'll wait till stormy weather comes or generate it itself, hide amongst the clouds, and then what looks like tornadoes are the tentacles themselves, looking to grope, grasp, and probe the earth below. And our party, through ingenuity and the use of ciphers, ciphers being secrets, managed to take one of these monstrosities out. And with that, there's a few facts of the matter. There is a dispatch from the suzerain that was rescued by the party. They were fleeing this cloud kraken. There is the carcass itself, which at least one party member had the idea to harvest it for components, possibly new artifact secrets and ciphers. And then they are free to go about their way. But, as with the other episodes of this miniseries, we have the opportunity for each of our players to earn a bonus experience point, which in Cypher can be used to either reroll dice, purchase NPC friends and companions, extra equipment, solve plot points you don't feel like pursuing, or advance your character to the next sphere. We earn that experience through a story prompt, where our players give a brief monologue based on a prompt of my choosing. These are inspired by the game Fall of Magic by Ross Kalman, who's a friend of the show and the channel. And this week's prompt is Beneath the Pitiless Sun. Beneath the Pitiless Sun. And so, we will go around, and each player will have an opportunity to do it. Do we have a volunteer to go first? If not... Oh,
I would go first. I don't mind.
all right. Jim Davis, who's playing
Listen,
V-Rex.
I was first off front and center in the class. You're there to learn.
Nerd.
Nerd. That's fine.
Nerd.
Always.
Teacher's pet.
And listen, when
Jesus.
you're a teacher's pet, you get to leave early.
What? Says who? When?
Teachers I had.
Look,
Oh yeah, that
they were
makes
just
sense.
trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, that's true. I did. Listen, if you feign incompetence, they won't ever ask you to do anything. So, Beneath the Pitiless Sun. Beneath the Pitiless Sun, Vigorous Rex sweats and is like, I should have gotten a haircut before we left. His fur is starting to kind of grow in, and it's very uncomfortable this time of year. He hasn't had a chance to really get a proper dust bath, and just perhaps thinks to himself that perhaps the Basalt Palace will have it. Finds himself distracted during the aftermath of this as his large and brutish and quite violent companions make mincemeat out of this cloud kraken. Listen, some of you are brutish in a good way, and and he sits there in a rock. He's got his crossbow contraption sort of like at the ready if need be, and is just wishing he was elsewhere as he sweats and waits and is just too dusty, too sweaty, too dirty. I wish I was back home.
All right. Well, you are awarded 1 experience point and may nominate the next player to present their story prompt.
TK.
Yes, you are, baby. Akeem is actually it was created for environments like this and was not at home at all in the forested oasis. It is used to, I shouldn't say used, it is designed for hot sun, long travel, endurance-based activity, though typically in short spurts. If this is to become a long journey, Akeem will not be prepared to continue it without assistance. Its fans and filters are already beginning to labor very loudly. There's a sort of weak whine as they become clogged with the dust that has been kicked up from the death of this cloud kraken. It will probably have to rest soon.
Excellent. So I award you an experience point in Akeem can select the next character to deliver their prompt.
Most likely Caleb.
Come on, Boulder. Boulder for us.
So, yeah, definitely Boulder. Beneath the Pitiless Sun, Caleb is feeling very Boulder. But he actually loves the sun, even pitiless ones he enjoys. So he's now in like ball form. Like he just goes ball form. And he's rolling around just finding new sides of him that he can heat up under the sun. He's also always more comfortable when he's balled up. And he is curious what a giant sky thing, like he doesn't like air elementals or whatnot, but he is curious to see what comes out of them. Like, how do they stay afloat? Why would anyone ever get off the ground? Those are questions in his head.
Are stars just pinholes in the curtain of night? Sorry, I was going Highlander on you.
It's a good way to go.
Pardon my intrusion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the name of your lady love back at court?
Let's see. Did Josh write it down?
There's a bonus experience point, if you remember.
You did not tell me there would be a pop quiz.
No, I did not.
I knew there'd be one.
You would.
That's always...
Yes, you're right. School's important.
Darn it, this is why I take notes.
Especially when it
Josh,
comes
they're
to
in the
painful.
notes.
I won't hold it against you. Yeah, yeah. That's one of those things. It's like you don't need to take notes. TK does it for you.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I love that metagame.
Don't worry about it. I'll remind you. So
Okay.
you get your experience point. Elowin was the curvaceous, loud, amicable lady of the court.
I got a 0.
And I brought it up, Josh, because I didn't remember either, and I had to dig through.
I put the
How
I
spelling
was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna some lover I created.
I put the spelling you provided in the backstage chat.
Cool.
I did write this down somewhere, by the way, because I remember asking how do you spell that.
Mhm.
So
I remember you writing it down.
I feel vindicated somehow.
So extra XP should be rewarded. Same.
There will be an opportunity to get that experience point back. I'm gonna put it in the front of the class.
That
You
sounds
can
like
pick
a
it up.
note.
Everybody's going to bat for me. I appreciate it.
Gold star.
Got your back.
It's
Gold
an
stars.
okay sticker.
Yeah.
You tried.
There was a stamp. They'd stamp your hands when you go home in kindergarten. It was a smiley face, the frowny face, or the train that said "you tried" underneath. And it's like the one time I got that train that said "you tried," I was like, seriously? Ugh.
Even in
Renegade.
kindergarten, you're like, what the
And that's what I said. So they stamped me again with the frowny. They were like, what? F-bombs. Ellis, how dare you? All right, Josh, you get
You'll
a
take
choice.
this train and like it.
You'll take this train. That was the
Yes?
premise of the game Bully by Rockstar Games. So, Josh, you may nominate the next player to go down their prompt.
Who did I choose last week? Okay. Anna.
Seb. So Kuata is really hot under the sun, but not that much that it bothers other people. Like, it would bother other people. And she had a very rough time last time. And she kind of got this really weird gash in her arm. And it looks really nasty. So she's just really poking it to, really get angry about life a little bit. And, this weird monster in the sky is just a typical day, just fighting monsters that look crazy. That's what she was born to do. And she kind of gets, as she's thinking about monsters and then she starts thinking about one thing after another, she remembers that letter that or the apology that they need to deliver to Domine's Bay. And she's super curious to see what's in there. And really wants to open it. And that's all she thinks about for the rest of the day.
I just got called out in the backstage chat. Hey. Got it through
Yeah,
three
you
this-
did.
Excellent. So I award you an experience point, and then last but not least, our snack girl.
I
can
picked
go.
Lindy.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Anna. So beneath heated yellow sun, Caspia is sad. She hugged this adorable, happy, friendly sky kraken too hard, and it popped. It keeps happening. It's very depressing. But thanks to the heat from this beautiful sun, she's being a cold-blooded creature. It's cheering her up a little bit. She's finding herself slowly reinvigorated after she kind of cleans herself up from, being inside the belly of the sky kraken, literally. And, just kind of looks around, wanting a consoling hug, but knowing that better than to ask after what happened to the last hug that she gave. So she's kind of just slithering off, with the group, but hanging back a little bit while she, gives herself a pep talk to cheer up.
I like it. I feel a little bad for her now too. Like I feel bad that it's like she just wanted to hug the cloud crack and not kill it.
She did. It keeps happening. It's her curse. She doesn't know why everything she hugs dies.
She is awarding.
You're sad, like, because maybe I know that vigorous can be like as soon as it hits the ground, like you got to get in there because there's minutes to spare before some of that goes bad, and it's like that scene in Pacific Rim with Charlie Day. He just like dives in because there's bile in there. There's heart's blood. There's all.
I'm covered in that because I popped it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
So, yeah, just scoop it off her. So, Jim, you have.
It's hard.
Oh, that's really great. I have a voice this week. That's really great. You got in there. The heart. Is that heart's blood on you?
Yeah, it is.
All right. I don't want. I won't be rude. And he goes. He's not gonna wipe it off her.
Rude or not,
anyway.
Jim, you have exactly 3 vials, and I want to know exactly where you're extracting or taking liquids from.
A sky kraken. I mean, in this case, like as an elemental creature, their nervous systems are suffused with magical residue and the like. So he is going to go for the brain stem of that creature. There's several nerve clusters in a creature that big, and you've got to be very specific about where you're going. So he's going to the central one. I have identifying, creature knowledge, and salvaging magical materials trained in all 3 of those, and we'll be using intellect pool if I need to.
You don't need to make a roll. This is as part of the series and for the audience. Typically, you would roll to discover, extract, and identify ciphers. But for the purpose of this game, I'm more curious where he's taking these parts from, and from the brainstem. There is an orange glowing liquid that you can collect in one of the vials. And through examination that this will cause a spike of radiation. So it'll deliver a powerful burst, it'll disrupt the tissue of any creature that it touches, and it will do 10 points of damage. So damage in Cypher, for the audience, is set. It will, a medium weapon will always do 4 points. A large weapon will do 6 points, a light weapon will do 2. And you just subtract the armor from that, so there's no die rolling. But every now and then there's a modify. So this would be the equivalent of, like, Cloud Strife hitting you with a Limit Break in Final Fantasy VII, and, like, higher level ones. 10 damage is a lot. If this hit one of you, it would subtract 10 points from one of your pools. When your first pool goes empty, you are debilitated, then you end up being incapacitated, then you end up being dead. So as you lose those pools, you slowly die. This would hit with a considerable chunk of damage. So there is, what is another spot on the Kraken you look to collect?
So, the other thing with Kraken of this magnitude is they have to eat so many just like mounds of earth, the minerals they need to avoid falling out of the sky. So if you can try to find his digestive tract, and I will slide down, and if I need to, I've got a long tube that I'll hook to the outside if I need to breathe, and I'm looking for some kind of filtration organ, like a kidney or a liver or something, because that's where the good stuff is.
Yep. There's lots of good stuff in the
Raiding
liver.
the bones of their dead people, of their things,
So,
Yeah, come on.
There's like a thick, cloudy, kind of milky, purple fluid that is held in the liver that to collect. And what this liquid does is if you take it, whoever takes it will have perfect memory of everything that happens. Beyond photographic. Recall with exactness for 24 hours. So it's a remembering fluid. And whoever takes it, they will remember everything that happened after drinking it perfectly for 24 hours.
Sweet.
You have one last location, or
Stomach.
you have one last stomach. Okay.
What's half digested? If there's some poor, I don't expect to find anyone alive, but I don't know. But there might be someone's stuff that's not quite digested.
Okay, yeah, this one is also glowing, and it's glowing a bright, vivid green color. Although if you hold it up and look through it, it's very clear. It's a more slippery than water. It's a brilliant looking fluid, and this one does one of two things. It either gives you hiccups or removes hiccups. Thank you, random deck. That's what it does.
There we go.
And while you
it comes out of the
and
side.
while you have hiccups,
Yeah.
you get +5 armor against acid damage. And while you remove the hiccups, you take an extra 5 points of damage when hit by acid. So, depending on when and how you use it. Akim, your Saiyan scouter is detecting a bone that's connecting what would be the brain to the rest of the inside of the skeletal structure of the Kraken. And you know that this bone, when attuned with or used, 1, it will disintegrate. 2, it will cause intellectual focus. And the difficulty of any intellect task at all will be reduced by 2 steps for 24 hours. So if you're playing chess, if you're trying to solve a math problem, if you are trying to play a Sudoku puzzle, the difficulty will be reduced by 2 steps. And this is just sort of, we established that you have a scanner. You pick up on this rare artifact of sorts inside the skeleton of the Kraken.
Akim will approach it and just sort of unceremoniously dig inside of the back of the Kraken's head for it.
Sorry, I almost quoted one of those demon things. It was like, it moans in a way no one else does. But it's dead. So it releases a bunch of...
does not understand the significance of this.
Yeah, it releases a bunch of gas, smoke, and it kind of has a comical pop when you remove it. But you have that. And so this is a cipher. These are ciphers replacing the ciphers that we use. That's the fun part of the game. You use ciphers, and then you can find new ones. And in this situation, you're harvesting the creature that you slayed. Last but not least, and Jim, feel free to hand out these ciphers, because you can only carry a certain amount. Some characters can carry more than others. Most can only carry 2 when they start. Our sad snack girl, Caspia. When you're looking kind of forlorn and the sun's cheering you up, a small creature comes hopping out of the Kraken skeleton. It kind of yawns like a baby raptor. Has little
I
tiny
go
wings.
over and say hello.
And
I'm
yeah.
very familiar with hopping. My whole family was turtle bunnies.
Well, it looks like a small, tiny little fiendish dragon. It has little smirky eyes. You know, it looks kind of like it's up to no good. It has like a permanent little smile on its face on one side, and it's kind of coming up to you and it's just kind of nuzzling. It was swallowed by the creature, but not digested. So in a sense, you saved its life. It just kind of flutters up to you, and it kind of like bamfs into like a little inky mist, and then appears on your shoulder. It's just kind of perched. What do you want to name this creature?
Some scritches. Oh,
it enjoys it right on the chin.
let's see. It's a little like fiendish dragon looking thing.
Yeah.
Let's name it Flappy, because it's got little wings.
All right. Flappy the dragon imp is
It was
essentially...
Flappy or Chomper, but I like Flappy.
Flappy is also a Cypher.
And Flappy also looks happy because it's got that smile on. So.
Should Flappy be dismissed back to the infernal planes, Flappy will send out a disintegration ray up to 200 feet away that will do 20 points of damage. So be very, 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 very careful with that thing.
Don't hug Flappy.
But Flappy loves hugs. So, yeah, and Flappy kind of crawls up your shoulder. He's just kind of like resting on your head now. Kind of looking around. If I fits, I sits, you know.
Definitely cheered up. It hasn't said anything about Flappy, but has already given it a name and is planning its birthday party in like 3 weeks.
Well, we had Flappy for 5 minutes, but if anything happens to it,
this is my son now.
Kill everyone in this room and then myself.
So, question for the rest of the party: there are some stragglers, those that were the royal dispatch that was fleeing back to Featherfall, which the party came from. He came from Featherfall. They're headed back that way. Does anyone talk with them while any of the searching is going on? Both Caleb and Kuara would be available to do that. Likewise, I'm pretty sure Akeem had plenty of time as well. So there's about 6 of them, all different shapes and sizes. Some have pig snouts, others look walrusy. There's a few that have ostrich heads.
Yes, Kuara would talk to whoever's around. Hey, you. What are you thinking?
I have a name. Do not speak down to me, angel of Karosh. I know who you are. They're jealous.
Well, now
of
I know who you are. Listen, you need to pick on somebody your own size. This wasn't it.
I'm gonna remember that.
Good.
Like one of them, one of the walruses kind of like groans at the snippety one. He goes, "They're called angels. We're called emissaries. I don't quite get this. We are a dispatch." Yeah, he's clearly jealous and irked, but it seems like his own people are turning on him. Do you want to use the situation to your advantage at all? I don't know what you might have in mind, but it seems like you're winning over the rest of the dispatch.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're clearly stronger than you guys. And she gives like a duh kind of look.
So brag about it a little more, why don't you, he says.
Well, thanks to him, I flew and killed that thing.
Caleb is about 40 feet from them or so and ball. And if they get closer, he just rolls away a little bit.
They are scared to death of Caleb. Caleb's strength is legendary. You're also
that's
the
good.
Knight of Krakengard in Krakengard.
That's true, yeah. My powers are great. Or maybe not. But I feel that way.
One of the ostriches speaks up. It's like, don't mind him. He's just grouchy. Where are you headed, if we might ask?
That way. And at this point, not giving much information.
Obviously. What destination?
Who's asking?
I am. You don't see anyone else talking to you, besides old Sour Britches over there. I heard that.
It's a secret mission that you shouldn't worry about.
When you say secret, like the ostriches start like talking to her. Secret mission. I bet it has to do with the lover. It's the lovers. Shh. Secrets, eh? And they kind of ostrich at you. I should have got my tiny hands on. Where are they? Good. Oh no, Jim's looking for his.
I know, I don't know where mine are.
Mine are. I know where mine are. I'm not gonna go get them though. All right, pausing the stream. We're all gonna be back in about 20 minutes with tiny hands.
Yes.
Now, so they kind of look. So these two ostriches are Razzle and Dazzle, and yeah, they're looking at you, and they're really trying to get some gossip out of you. They're like, why don't you answer any questions we ask with yes or no?
No.
They're like very disappointed. It's a tiny answer.
Listen, if you find out about this mission, what it truly is, your head would explode.
They seem to be even more interested. What a way to die. The juiciest gossip of the land. To die hearing the secrets of the universe.
Yeah.
They won't keep prying because obviously you're not inclined to share with them, but they'd love to know.
Yeah. Sorry. Leave the head exploding to us. It'll be an honorable death.
Can you even die? You're angels after all.
It was a figure of speech. Of course we can't die.
Good. Because we look forward to our eventual promotions one day.
You think? No, I'm not gonna say anything. Never mind.
You're not going to say anything?
Nope.
Somebody asks you if you're a god.
So yeah, I am.
All right.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I'm off over there to not die. Because I clearly killed that thing.
Well, you clearly did. Well, we'll let Galen, Elowin, and Adolin know that we saw you, and that you looked well, and that you saved our lives.
Yes, tell those babes we say hello. Goodbye. And then she turns away really fast and just starts walking casually.
Caleb's gonna like roll at them. A 6-foot bowler just coming right for him.
Ah! They start to scatter.
Wait! You can hear it from his somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure how he turns into a bull. So he gets like 5 feet from him, and it's like
The ostriches, the way they should have done is just stuck their heads in the sand when you came rolling at them. No!
right past him. You're gonna go see Elwyn?
Yes.
What are you gonna tell her about me?
That you threw the braggart that killed the Kraken, and they did slay it. We're also going to speak of the Hugger and how the Hugger cracked its heart. We're also going to explain how the giant from the Bloodwood shot it from almost a mile away, destroying its eyes. And
But
how
just-
the smithy kind of dug through its guts in disgusting fashion, feasted upon its insides.
Well, just make sure to mention me.
Oh, we will. Is there anything you want us to say in particular? We'll write it down.
I'm not good with words. Quara's.
They
not
notice
that heavy.
immediately. Yeah, they notice immediately that you have Elowen's,
Mhm, yeah,
and-
yeah.
and they're like, their little ostrich eyes are like, they're in love, and they just kind of like swoon, and they're just like, oh.
I for some reason I'm now imagining that Caleb was like a cartoon character, and so every now and then he just turns into a ball and does something silly. So that's what he does.
The ostriches are
yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the idea of being in love makes him like spin around. He just,
Yeah. Well, the ostriches are all about this, and they can't wait to go back and sing your praises to the court.
Yay!
The lovers triumph. They're writing a song now. They're like rehearsing it. The triumphant lover. And so, if you have no questions for them, they will continue on their way. They were coming from the Basalt Palace, and they are headed home.
Oh, if they were headed from that way, then Vigorous is he's cut his way out of the side of this thing's abdomen, and has it like walking down the hill toward Quara's over there, and Caleb. This maybe gave Caleb a bit of a heckle, and he's got Scout. Scout's got a comb attachment that is it is going through Vigorous's hair, getting all the goop and viscera out of it as it just sort of like floats around. He comes up, he's like, and is coming from the mountains, yeah.
Yes.
Any news from up ahead?
They're making preparations for a festival.
Oh, a festival.
Yes, 'tis the season.
No patrols then, or anyone else.
These roads patrol themselves as they look at the Kraken carcass.
Yeah.
Most of the guards are focusing their attention inward.
Well, that's great. Then keep up the good work, soldier.
Make an intelligence check. This is a task difficulty 5.
At X.
They are keeping some information from you.
Oh, well, I am skilled in seeing through tricks, ruses, lies, and deceptions. And we'll be using an edge for that, or effort for that. So, where's my roll? I just got to roll some dice. 19.
All right, so there's going to be an extra effect to that. What would you like that extra effect to be?
He sees through their deception, and I'd like maybe something that's like.
I'd rather say this. You
Yeah.
detect an omission. They're not deceiving. They're omitting.
They're omitting something. I think something about he'd want something else revealed that's like an embarrassing detail he'd be able to use later. Just like, oh yeah, like if he needs a favor or just
Okay. I'll give you that. So here are some things you know. Each of them has a mark on them unlike any you've ever seen before. And these marks are fresh. And they look as if they've seen some combat, but not from the Kraken. And your guess is someone tried to hold them there in the Basalt Palace, and they resisted and fled.
If you guys,
There are signs of a struggle.
Signs of struggle, and maybe he'll. If it's a festival, like, are you guys? I mean, I didn't think the dominated. I didn't think that they'd had anything urgent planned. I don't remember reading anything about a dispatch. Like, you guys aren't expected back. What's the hurry?
We have personal business to attend to. Personal business.
Sorry I asked. Well,
Indeed, they say.
Caleb is overhearing them, and he's going to try to recall the many stories he's heard from travelers. What kind of festival would be going on right now? I'm trained in history, which could help me.
Sure.
Maybe also, I've got both identifying and assessing danger. Would any of those help me?
Yes, both of them would. Make a roll for me, and I'll tell you what you know.
Okay. Almost rolled 17, instead of roll 7.
What did you roll?
7.
That's not very good at all.
No, it's not.
Here's what you know.
Okay.
You do know that the Basalt Palace has been rumored to have they have kind of like a weekend feast of sorts. It's not the kind of feast where you eat or consume. It's just a celebration. And they're known for that, but it's not uncommon in most cultures to have like a Sabbath or a special day set apart of the week. You know that they have that. As far as dangers, they're not any more dangerous than any other faction or power in the land. They have guards. They have trained soldiers. They're not a military power by any means, though. They mostly just have sufficient to protect their own. And it appears there might have been a disagreement between our dispatch and the denizens of the Basalt Palace.
So you're saying, like, they tried to leave our palace and somebody tried to restrain them?
They attempted to leave... Well, here's what you know. There were signs of a struggle on them, and there are unusual brands. And it happened recently, and these aren't Kraken wounds. You don't know how they got them or from whom.
Okay.
But all of them have them.
Okay. I don't think Caleb would have anything to say to that.
Okay. Any other questions for them, or will they be sent home?
No other questions.
All right. And with that, we'll fast forward a little. So it is a hot, blistering journey beneath the pitiless sun. However, in the distance, you can see down a hill, essentially the Basalt Palace area itself. There's a massive wall. The wall is must be 50, 60 feet tall. You're at the top of the hill, though, and you can see this area where a large chunk of the bloodwood has been cut away. And it's just all the trees are dead. Nothing grows there. This area has been cleared off. In the center of this cleared area, the Basalt Palace is actually known as one of the main gates, and by gates I mean main roads to get into or out of the bloodwood. It sits there, and in the center of it there is a tall, large hill. You are much higher up than this because you'll be coming down the mountain, and there is a tall tower in the center. And what Akeem would know, being from this region, that tower is known as the Panopticon of the Potentate. So there's an individual that rules the Basalt Palace, and they have a Panopticon to look over their region and all the miles around it. So it's a fairly large area where forest has been cleared. It controls entrance to and from the bloodwood. It's been there for a long time. Caleb knows that they have a sort of a weekend festival or a weekly festival. And you all know that a dispatch has come from here and looks like they had seen some action. And with that, you are free to approach. How would you like to approach it?
Are we on top of a hill?
Yes, you are coming down a mountain, but you can see this sort of hilled clearing that is walled. There's a massive 50-foot high wall around the whole area where the palace would be. There's various structures in there. Like there's an actual, it looks like a small castle of sorts. It looks like there's an open air market. There are a number of hills in there. But there's also a tall hill with a very large, tall, we're talking Link to the Past, Ganon's Tower, at the top.
Can we tell if the cleared forest is this like recent?
No, it was probably cleared and desecrated 50 to 100 years prior.
So Akim was dormant in the Bloodwood for centuries. What does it remember of the layout after having been, I guess, not resurrected, but
Brought online?
yeah, sure. I was going to say rebooted.
Okay. Rebooted, yes. So here's what you know. This area is distinctly kept separate from any and all affiliation with the Bloodwood itself. Those from the Bloodwood want nothing to do with the Basalt Palace and those that live there. They view them as outsiders. They also don't trust them. They refuse to trade with those inside. And you recall rumors of individuals, troops, soldiers, raiders coming from this palace and attempting to abduct citizens of the Bloodwood at various times. However, the Bloodwood made a strong stand and a strong statement, and yeah, sorry, I see some of the backstage chat.
Don't worry about it.
No, I was gonna. Well, it's okay also to ask these out loud to me, because if we were at a table, it's okay to ask and things like that, because it'll help me focus. Otherwise, I start reading and my brain gets sidetracked just because I have like one functioning eye and it's looking at everything all the time. And
what was the name of our palace we came from?
You came from you came from Featherfall,
right? Featherfall,
the home of Suzerain Kurosh Domine.
Yes. Okay.
The Basalt Palace was essentially locked. So what Akim would know is there are raiders that would come out of the Basalt Palace, but a large stand was made by the people of the Bloodwood to prevent them from doing that. And it's been years, at least 20, 25 years, since there has been a raider to step foot out of that south gate. So they only seem to come out of the north gate.
Okay. This is old data. Akim would not share that.
Vickers is getting a lay of the land, finding the highest vantage point, and just seeing what's around, where it looks like there might be potential settlements. Is there anyone, any groups of travelers or people walking about? And he's also sort of on guard about it as well.
There seem to be at least 4 small communities inside the walled region. Outside, there don't appear to be any. However, you can hear, if you listen closely, which I imagine you are, what sounded like the wind howling. There's some sort of singing that's going on along the trail below, so there might be people that are making their way to the Basalt Palace. There's a festival.
We could join up with another group. Safer that way.
If Akeem hears the singing and can measure it mathematically, is it a marching meter or is it where we're walking
Nice.
through the forest?
You know that it is a divine hymn being performed in a worshipful manner, and
Okay.
not a what I'd call it's music of devotion.
Okay. Would this seem like something that is more institutional, or is this like a pastoral hymn? Does this seem like a religious ritual is what I mean? Or is it a pastoral hymn
I know
where
what you
there's
mean.
somebody just walking around?
This your guess, in fact, not even your guess, your analysis shows that this is a supplication to the gods that is happening at a specific and designated time. So your Saiyan Scouter kind of pulls up this weird kind of like calendar of sorts. A wheel turns and a separate wheel turns within it. There's strange runes and characters that only Akeem knows within your ancient database. And at this day, at this time, those with a connection to a divine power must supplicate it, for it is mandated since before time began. At least that's what their belief system is. I think it's fair to say that in the land between two rivers, we take a Gnostic view that we know there are planes, gods, goddesses, demigods, etc. So taking a Gnostic view, you know that these with a divine connection have been mandated to make a prayer through song. In fact, your databanks are pointing to a deity's name that is associated with loss and mourning. So they're petitioning essentially sort of like a god of remembrance. They're trying to remember people that have been lost.
I like to imagine that when you were saying the wheels and stuff, that this is almost like a holographic projection that is coming out on the ground, and where these wheels are linking up, and then like a rune glows where they sort of pie chart together.
Yeah.
And then Akeem opens its mouth, and it's just this like Wikipedia article about everything that's like been stored that they can remember of this, because all of their information is hundreds of years old. So
Yeah. Do you want to search around to see if you can find the people that are singing it? Or do you want to...
I'd like
yeah, Akeem will do that. Yeah,
Um,
Akeem
Kay-
will be in favor.
This isn't the same day, is it?
This
Looks
would
like
be
it's
a
around like
day
a
or two
3-way.
later. Yeah. Because you're coming up on the end of the journey.
Okay.
Caleb has a hard time not rolling down hills. And I don't mean like by accident, I mean like on purpose. And the bigger the hill, the more he wants to roll down it. How big is this hill?
You are on a mountain right now.
Hmm.
And it's not like a hill to roll down. You would have to go down a winding tail with switchbacks and...
Yeah.
Which
He
you can
might just
handle.
go. He might just go for a short roll. He might not even tell anybody. He might just start falling and then keep going.
I feel like I would notice a big.
Yeah, he's really loud when he
Rolling.
moves. By the way, unless he's really trying and like moving slowly, like
Mm-hmm.
he's loud.
Do you think the singing is down this way where he's going? As Kuara kind of sits down and like lays on the hill, like just ready to roll as well. But obviously
Yeah.
after him, because that would get squished.
There's somewhere down there in one of those valleys, I bet.
You can... Yeah. There's no rolls required. And... Caspia is the first one to see them. and you see 5 individuals. There is a tall, lean, almost Yuan T-like, silver-scaled, regal-looking dragonborn. And she stands as tall as the tallest. The tallest, who insists they are the tallest, is a stone-skinned individual who is massive, and they have bones piercing every part of their body and sort of spiky protrusions. You would know, if you had seen one before, that this individual is a Goliath. The spiky protrusions appear to be natural, but it was probably inflicted upon them by a deity for one reason or another. There is a sort of mist form, ethereal, incorporeal goblin who is circling about them. He is a mist goblin who is essentially caught between 2 planes, the ethereal and the prime material. There is a wide bugbear in a very majestic-looking robe that looks very formal. That's the one leading them in song. And there is also a fire genasi who is dazzily dressed. And they're singing. They don't stop to... They don't notice you, but you've noticed them.
I'll slither over to Kuara and be like, "There's a bunch of very fancy people over there. You think any of them need a hug?"
And before she rolls down, she kind of gets up and crouches a little bit and adjusts her eyes to where these people are. They don't seem like the hugging type.
You never know.
You can try it.
All right, so I shall give them greetings then. Okay. And she'll slither on over.
I walk instead of rolling.
I don't
Really
have feet, so I have to slither.
All right. So they
great.
see Caspia approach. They have finished their hymn, and they see you. They're like, "Oh." The fire genasi speaks up. Hey, Yon T, tail and all, how are you? Sister Snake, how are you?
Greetings. I'm quite well. How are you all tonight?
Goliath kind of looks down, kind of narrows his eyes as he looks at you, crinkles his nose a little. He's like, "How much can you lift?"
And then I walk in and I'm like, "How much can you lift?" Giving him the exact same eyes.
He's like, "Well, I asked first. After all, it's polite for a lady to go first." He kind of says sheepishly and kind of gives this like shy little boyish Goliath look away despite all of his bony protrusions.
Listen, this is... What year is this?
The year of
Nobody
this
keeps a
day.
calendar.
This is the year of the sun, okay? That doesn't mean ladies should always go first.
But it's a tradition in these parts to still ask them, "Where are you from?"
Don't worry about it.
I'm from Yellow Sea.
The smoky goblin kind of floats over to you, and this little goblin head goes floating around, and he goes, "But I do worry about it. We always worry when we see people coming down the mountain."
Why?
"Because you're liable to be taken."
By whom?
The silver dragonborn speaks out. "Those that would intend to do you harm. There are many raiders about these parts. Taking
dear.
people, collecting them."
Do you mean us any harm?
The fire genasi kind of winks and grins at V-Rex, Vigorous Rex, and goes, "If you're lucky."
What? What are you
What?
saying?
He's flirting with you.
Hmm?
It's
Uh-oh.
okay. Might be too subtle for that one.
Mm.
Kind of says with a laugh.
He's back to tinkering with his robot.
Have you come from Featherfall or the Yellow Sea or where do you hail?
I'm originally from the Yellow Sea.
I have a very important question to ask. Who all has revealed himself? We started with Caspia, and then I may have gone out of sorts in Kuara, because if Vigorous Rex wasn't there, the Fire Genasi would have winked at Caspia. I'm giving you an opportunity to decide whether you're there or not.
No, I had said earlier that Vigorous went off in search of the sound of the chanting.
Okay.
He's looking for people to talk to get a feel for the place.
Akeem almost always brings up the rear of the group, but it doesn't matter because Akeem is almost 9 feet tall, so...
Which is, if Akeem's there, all the
Yeah.
attention is about to switch from flirtatious fireboy winking
I
and shy
would say
Goliath.
I would say Akeem just got on the scene then.
Yes,
Like, Akeem never goes anywhere in a hurry.
everyone stops and looks up and just goes, ooh. They're like all the little aliens from Toy Story. They're like the claw. Yeah, they're all just like in awe. Except the Silver Dragonborn, who does not place eyes on Akeem. She hasn't yet.
Akeem's eyes briefly go from blue rest to yellow, but then back to blue.
All right. So the smoky goblin kind of floats around. It's floating up, and it's kind of it's kind of like cautiously skittering towards the Warforged, Akeem. It kind of looks back at the Goliath. The Goliath kind of shrugs, and then the bugbear in the majestic robe speaks up and says, I am Cordero, and I'm honored to welcome you to the outskirts of the Basalt Palace. And it is, in fact, I'm just going to say there's a lot I can talk about in the backstage chat, because my wife used to be the reptile lady at the zoo, and I've had to go through all this explanation like 1,000 times.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
I love herpetologists, or whatever they're called. Snake people?
Snake.
Snake
We're
people.
talking about
I
snake
call him
stuff.
Yanti.
Yeah, they're called Yanti. Sorry. I'm going to stop posting the backstage chat.
Did you say
So-
Cordero is the Dragonborn, or...
Cordero is the bugbear. The Dragonborn hasn't spoken up, and hasn't acknowledged the existence of the party at the moment. Yeah, so Cordero is like, I welcome you to these parts. We were just doing a little bit of worship, just paying respects to the good people of the mountain that we've lost over many, many years.
That's very respectable of you.
We're respectable people, my good friend Snake. What is your
Am I
name?
hearing-
Oh, my name is Caspia.
Sometimes they can, which is why that one's caught between. And he points over at the goblin kind of floating around. Isn't that right, Carvalho? And he's like, yes,
Do they
Caught
sing
between-
back?
if we're lucky. That happens rarely. It hasn't happened in about 10 years.
Are you lucky?
She is. And they point over at the Silver Dragonborn, who finally turns her head. And she looks like, leave me out of this. And kind of goes back.
Hmm.
10 years is lucky?
The Dragon Lady's lucky, says the Fire Genasi. He goes, You're the giant of Bloodwood, aren't you? I've read about you in books, stories, songs.
It
Have a
is.
reputation. What are you doing out of the Bloodwood?
It has been asked to perform a task.
What can we do to help?
Sing less.
They kind of sigh. They go, we can't promise we'll do that, but we can promise that we won't sing for the rest of the month.
When it says sing less, there is a flash of its eyes from blue to green, and there's like a very like dusty whirring in its chest that suggests laughter.
Oh no. Roasted. The fire Jossie's hair. Roasted.
Akeem has attempted a joke.
Akeem has succeeded.
Change your filter.
So
It just like coughs up a little dust like from the side filters.
if you like, we could. Are you headed to the palace, or are you headed some other?
Yeah, yeah. The palace is our, where we're headed. We just wanted to avoid any kind of trouble along the way.
What business have you there?
Confidential.
The best kind, says the fire genasi with a wink at you again.
Mm.
That was at you, lover.
Akeem looks at Vigorous and says, "Too much dust.
Well,
Organics are fragile."
He just smells good.
Yeah.
Fire genasi said.
He's like trying to pick up on the two innuendos that they say.
What?
And yeah,
Akeem does not understand smells. It's just like, okay.
and I think what we're saying is that we could use someone local who knows the place.
Yes.
Palace has a reputation.
Do you need to be smuggled in or escorted in?
Well, and then what do you guys think?
They both sound fun.
Akeem looks at
Increasingly
Rex and then at Caleb and it says, "Has it been authorized to destroy?"
Well, I don't think that we've enacted what those protocols yet. I think right now we're still in subterfuge instead of violence. Keep that.
Caleb's still
This is
rolling.
a
back.
non-violent event.
Caleb rolls down.
It's like trying to.
I abhor violence.
Casper, I agree. It's very messy.
Smuggling implies subterfuge.
I think smuggling is, but perhaps I mean, can you get us in? Like, there's,
We can, and I need you to make your roll to see through deceptions.
All right. Let's see here. If I can, I will spend intellect. But
You can.
Yeah. All right. Go. So I'll spend 2 of that for my pool, and here we go. Oh. A 4.
So here you do know they are withholding some information from you. You do know that they can get you into the Basalt Palace. You know that they would probably prefer to escort you. And okay, let me you saw the brands on the other group, right?
Mm-hmm.
You noticed that the Silver Dragonborn does have a brander. She's the one that marks people and does the branding.
Uh-huh.
These are very obviously raiders that take people into the palace against their will.
Mm-hmm.
But they've assessed you guys as probably not worth it because we'll probably get beat up, but there's a chance we can take them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not quick to rush, and it's like, look, we could sit here all day. They know you're on a mission. They kind of view you as maybe allies.
Well, I mean, we have quite a profile. I think smuggling is perhaps a bit too big of an ask. But if you have know someone who could get us in discreetly, or perhaps if we could make a small donation and join a charitable organization as auxiliary members of some kind, that would be, what I'm saying?
What sort of donation are we talking? And then the fire genasi speaks up and says, the kind that lets me go with them. And you notice when he turns his head, he's been branded. He's not part of them. He's been captured.
The kind that lets me give you guys hugs?
Yes, we have a hugger.
The Goliath's like, I appreciate hugs. He's covered in spikes.
Can Akeem see the brand and the branding iron?
Yes. At this point, we'll just say that you know.
Yeah, Akeem was a gladiator and has its own sort of serial number brand. Would Akeem draw a parallel between them?
Yes.
Akeem's eyes immediately go from that green to red.
The ethereal formed goblins like, whoa, deathbot mode. On your guards. No one seems to be rushing into action. They're like, no, there doesn't need to be a fight. We'd appreciate a donation.
Yeah, I think a donation could be,
The Goliath hugs you, Caspia.
Oh, I hug.
Make a roll. I just want to see if you crack the Goliath spine. Oh, my back.
I am.
I wasn't Goliath enough.
I got a 17. Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
I was gonna say I'm gonna just glance back at Akeem. If do we notice that that its eyes have gone from blue to red?
I would say that Vigorous Rex probably knows the most about Akeem, so probably because you can probably hear the plates in its body sort of locking into its armor locking into place.
So what then? The second question I have is: do I know that if the only way to get them to go from red to green is for blood to be spilled? Do I know it's about to go down, or is there a way that we could still get out of this?
Pardon my intrusion. Go ahead. Finish your conversation.
Well, I was going to say that Akeem does have a character trait given to them by Cypher, which is you have a particular connection to the character of the player sitting on your right. The character knows your true nature, even if no one else does. If your components are not particularly hidden, she knows a different secret of yours, such as a pre-programmed word that will shut you down for 10 minutes. So since we are one person in the party does know that there's a pre-programmed kill switch.
Okay. If it's, I think it makes sense to be vigorous, but it's not my character. Akeem isn't my character. But
I don't care which one.
The rest of the group doesn't look like they're about to throw down. These people are raiders and slavers and the like, and so if I can, if it's possible, I will work it into casual conversation.
Yeah, because it makes most sense for it to be Vigorous, since Vigorous was the person who rebooted and has been socializing it.
Yes, poorly.
Pardon my intrusion. Caleb, you were rolling down the hill, correct?
Yes.
All right. You roll through a cave, and the cave comes to a sudden stop. You are not strong enough to just bust through what's on the other side, because it's just blocked and barricaded. And there are 12 armed guards who watch this boulder come smash into their gate, which leads to the final pass to approach the Basalt Palace. And they just look at you, and they're just kind of shocked, and they begin to, they lower their, tase spears, and they're just kind of looking at this boulder, and they got to figure out how to either move you out of the way, and you would have to roll to deceive them. You are a Galebdur, you are not an actual boulder. They're familiar with your kind, especially one as legendary as you, that is known as the Knight of Krakengard. But there are 12 of them, so I give you an experience point. you can pay an experience point to cancel the intrusion, and these guys are just going to let you pass if you say so. Or I can give you the experience point. You'll have to deal with that added tension and pressure of being farly separated from your party. And you have another experience to give out, or you can cancel it, and they're just going to assume that you're supposed to be here.
I am taking that XP.
All right.
Gotta love that XP. And I think I'm going to hand it off to. I think I'm going to hand it off to Akeem.
Okay, so Akeem gets another experience point, and you get one as
Good,
well.
good role playing going on over there.
They're going to attempt to...
Can I try to deceive them by rolling with them as they move me? You know,
Yes.
like maybe I'd make them appear that I'm lighter than.
Yes.
Then that is what he is going to do, and I'm trained in rolling.
Yeah.
So I'm not trained in deception or anything, so I'm just going to give it my best.
They're not going to want to roll you up the hill. They're probably going to roll you past the gate.
Yes. All right. In which case, here we go. Damn it.
What do you get?
7 again.
They go to move you with the spears, and you go, ow, as they poke into you, like your face, and they're shocked. So
Don't chip me.
we're going to cut back. We're going to cut the camera back. So you essentially have 12 armed guards that are looking to take you captive.
Okay.
Let's cut to the top of the hill. So there is a group of raiders, a rival adventuring party. This Goliath is 100% in love with Caspia, although you're killing them. Like their bony protrusions are like cracking and reforming from their curse, and they're just like, she's so strong. And your little dragon's just like giving them the evil eye.
I'm like, you're not dead.
No.
And if everybody's distracted by that, that's when I will take my minute to or my moment to speak command to just quietus.
Silencio.
And
Yeah, I'm sure it 100% works.
something, yeah.
You can see Akeem's eyes go completely black, and there's just like a little white dot of light in them that just blinks on and off.
And now what are we gonna do with a 9-foot automaton? So, I can carry it. So yeah. Anyway, let me get my and he roots around in his bag of, I don't know, bits for a suitable bribe for
Okay.
for these raiders.
So I'm going to tell you, here's a couple things that they'd want. You have itims and possessions and things like that. There's a couple things that they would like. They would like Caspia's dragon. They would like Kuara's twin blades. They would like I'm sure you have some strange contraption, not your construct. If you have a strange contraption, an automaton of sorts that you've made or are working on, describe it to me, and I can tell you whether or not they're interested.
He has a repeating crossbow that it doesn't really look like one. It looks more like a Nerf weapon that you might fit on your arm. But it's
they would totally love that, but they either want her blades, her dragon, or your repeating crossbow, and
They want with Flappy.
that you teach each other a secret sign, and you pledge to not combat each other. It's kind of like, this is like a noble agreement. It's like, look, if there's a fight, we won't attack you guys, you don't attack us. It's an agreement we'll make, so if we ever meet on the field of battle, we will not fight each other.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that.
Do they say this out loud?
The vigorous, yes. Well, they tell you some things that they want. They're talking with. Yeah.
Okay.
It's me and Cordero like off to the side chatting.
Got it. Good. Gotcha. Because I would have had some words.
But I'm not, yeah.
You do see Cordero point at you, and he kind of motions with his hands and kind of strokes his bug beardy chin and flares his nostrils a few times and looks back at Vigorous. Vigorous nods and kind of motions towards you.
Yeah.
I look at him with the most intimidating look this very small person would ever give anybody. Because she doesn't know what they're talking about. And does not trust.
Why do you assume the worst? Why don't you trust them?
It's her. She assumes the worst in almost everybody. Almost everybody.
You should talk with them about it.
I don't know. Is there like a role to intimidate?
He waves. Yeah, absolutely. It's an intellect task.
To roll 20 or not roll 20. All right, my last hope for roll 20. All right, I got a 16.
All right. Do you have any training in intimidating people?
Let's see. I'm a warrior. I thrust. Giggity.
You fight.
I fight, and that's it. And like my rages, but I don't see any sort of thing that would help me with that.
Okay. You can spend 3 points of intellect to lower the task by 1. Do you do that?
Sure.
That will let you pass. It was a task difficulty of 6. Spending those 3 points lowered it to 15. You just multiplied the number times 3, so 6 times 3 would be 18. You need an 18 or higher. Lowering it, 15 or higher. You got a 16, so you succeeded. Cordero kind of looks away and is like, she can keep her swords.
Okay, all right.
But we would like a pledge that we will not fight each other, and we would love that repeating crossbow.
All right, sure. Well, listen, all right, I take repeating crossbow. No swords, I'll give you the full quiver for it, just, good measure. And yeah, Wastelander's promise. You see each other on the battlefield, give him one of these.
Caspia, I need you to make a strength defense roll as the Goliath is hugging you back.
Okay. That's a 15.
All right. Are you spending any points, and do you have any training in strength defense?
Let me see. My character sheet. Trained in all actions involving breaking, inanimate objects, jumping, carrying, climbing, jumping, smashing. I'm really good at jumping, apparently. Just weird for a snake.
Pogo snake.
I just coil up. Boing. I can control the field and maneuver everything in positions I desire. Oh, I can thrust too. Overwatch. No need for weapons. No, I don't have a defense training. I have 2-edged might. I guess I'll spend since I have 2-edged might. It's only 1 point of might.
So it's 1 point, and so that'll lower it. So what did you get on your die roll?
A 15.
Not quite good enough. So rather than damage you, the Goliath essentially has repositioned, so you are no longer like cracking its C-spine. And now it's just a warm, cozy hug. And this, what's his name?
Caspia feels so like this happy feeling inside of
Gardinio. That's his name. Yeah, Gardinio. Gardinio has feelings for you, because Gardinio has not been hugged by anyone because of the spikes. He's been cursed for the past 100 years.
Oh,
and this
no.
is kind of like the first hug he's gotten, and like you endured it, and you were strong enough for the hug, and he's
kind of
just
helping with the molting a little bit. I'm not gonna say
he's
anything.
at the stage where he says this: "We don't want the crossbow. We don't want the crossbow.
Oh, okay.
We're cool." And
This
they're
is
all looking at
Gardinio?
and they're all looking at Cardinio, and Cordero's like, "You're not supposed to be the leader. I'm supposed to be the leader." And Irani's like, "But I am the leader." And the goblin's like, "I thought I was the brains of the bunch." And the fire genasi is like looking for help. Maybe someone can help him slip away.
Yeah, well, so no, like, We don't. Nothing. You don't want anything. Like this seems weird. Like
Gardenia has this like leaky tear welling up and forming in his eye socket, and he's like,
Caspia does too, but they just
he's like,
because they're hugging. So
he's like, I got everything I needed today. Thank you.
All right. Well, like I said, if we see each other and just give us one of these, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, he's nodding, like he's got the
Common
quivery
wisdom.
lip as he looks back at Caspia, and everyone's just like, "Why?" And he's just like, and they let you go. You are free to pass, and they are not going to.
Takes a minute for Caspia to uncoil. He's very reluctant to do so.
Yeah, and Gardenia's just like,
I really hope we get to see each other again soon.
yes. You are quite strong. And with that, down the bottom of the hill. Hi, it's Dan Gaston in chat. The Mad Side DM. Hey, Dan. Good Cypher friend and science fantasy friend. At the bottom of the hill, you finally get there. Josh, let's figure out how this battle has been going for you. What is the first thing you did when they tried to take you prisoner?
I'm trying to think. Would I battle?
You're gonna Luke Skywalker and go willingly?
I know I'm not trained in deception, but I'm just gonna try being earnest and say, sorry, I was just rolling down the hill. I didn't realize it ended at this gate.
Yeah, yes, and you will represent greatly in the games to come. And with that, they attempt to bind you. Do you allow them to do so, or do you resist?
How do they try to bind me?
Here's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to beat you unconscious, and then they're going to lash you up, and then they are going to cart you over. Just because you're made of stone doesn't mean they can't kill you.
Oh no, I'm not saying they couldn't kill me. I'm just saying how do you bind somebody who can go spherical? I never got any ciphers.
It's like wrapping a bowling ball. Jim didn't give you any? Jim, at this point you can say. Well, at this point you can say if you handed any to him.
Fast forwarded past it, but yeah, he had some to give you. Yeah, he used some of the vials of liquid.
Yeah, I don't know if he likes liquids.
All like collected, just a bunch of gooey cracking fluid.
Take the green one.
Green one, with the hiccups and the acid, and then the purple one is like perfect memory. And then the orange one is like radioactive. Maybe actually, the orange. I don't know if you're made of stone. Maybe the orange one, if it's like radioactive.
Well, it's like corked, and it can be put in a little box that he has on him.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna put it in an aerosol.
Yeah.
And spray it.
Ruin the environment. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, we're gonna say I've got the radioactive one. This is gonna get weird.
All right. So are you using that thing?
I am. He's coming out of his ball, and he reaches behind him and goes, "Oops, I spilled it," and I just throw the.
Oh wow. So here's what we're going to say.
All right. Okay.
Roll 1d12.
All right. Do I want high or low?
High.
8.
So you shake a rattle. You start vandalizing them. The skin melts off of 8 of them as they rupture, bubble, and melt. The flesh falls from their bones.
That's a little more than I expected would happen when I used that. Cool.
This is the best thing you've ever done.
You're just spraying it in the area, and they are running for their lives. They can't run past you up the hill. You're way too wide, right? You just like fill up the wall. You're like a wall of death. They're running. They're banging on their own gate and just like melting. The 4 that remain cower before you as the party comes up behind.
Yay!
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
So the rest of the party's there now.
Okay, I just look back and look like
It
a,
worked.
you know,
You-
I don't, good work.
Ugh.
We could probably get through the gate now. There's only 4 of them.
we warn you, the way ahead is damned. You do not wish to go there.
Why not?
Is this one of the dissolved ones telling us this?
For the eyes of... no.
Maybe not
Just
the
a mouth
Who's that?
plastered
Maybe
on the wall.
it's
There are 4 that survived. And,
bastards.
yeah,
I would
so,
not be expending my last breath on that.
Yeah, right.
I'd be like, ah!
God's bad choice on
My face is melting off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's, I guess one of the pilgrims. This goes.
well, these are one of the... Well, there were 12 guards that were going
Right.
to capture them. 8 melted. And just... are, like, yeah. But essentially, yeah, one says, the eyes of Faradok watch from the tower. They see you. They see all that happens within the domains that lie beyond.
Well, if your gate hadn't been here, they would have seen me majestically reach terminal velocity and just barrel right through. So we'll keep going.
Open the gate. And the 4 all struggle to push. They normally have 12 guys to do this, but there's 4.
I'm gonna help.
Okay, yeah. They push and they get the great gate open, and before you, now that you're down the mountain and up top, there is a tower that seems to pierce the sky. It's at the top of a hill. There are creatures that are circling around it in flight. There is only clouds in the sky, and the clouds themselves are sort of a deep mauve color. The earth beneath you seems to be a surreal green texture. It looks as if the dust is artificially made. It's powdery, thick, almost like someone installed a carpet incorrectly. And deep in the distance, you see a cluster of sort of shanty houses. That is to the east, and to the west, there is a tall, dark manor house. Some would call it a castle, but it is not designed to defend itself. Typically, the walls defend themselves. And this time of year, they'd rather invite people in. What do you do?
We all there now?
Yes.
Well, what do it? Does anyone remember what Domine said about where to meet the Veiled Grace?
I am not the smart one.
The Dominier only told you that they had heard they would be here.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So, Vigorous is going to drink the purple liquid now. This gives them the perfect memory for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna whatever the next 24 hours is, wants to remember it well, and he just and gets it all goopy, snotty down. Ugh. I think it's still moving.
Is Akeem on autopilot or is Akeem awake now? Because that's 10 minutes for the
You're awake.
hill. Okay. Akeem is pouting.
You see on the horizon robed figures. There's probably about 20 of them, but seem to be marching in procession. They are moving from the shanty town to a hill in the distance. Not the tower proper, but another to the southwest. And with that, we're going to set the sun on the session for today and end a little early, as this is a mini-series. And that will conclude the second session of The Land Between Two Cyphers. Hi, Tesla! Oh, blinking, you're sleepy. And with that, turn the time back over to Jim.
There we go. Thank you very much, Grant. I'll finish up my notes there. And appreciate you running a game for us and getting a chance to play this system. We hope everybody out there enjoyed the game, enjoy hanging out with us and laughing along and all that good stuff. And let's see. Everybody, how's it going? What's, the whole deal, the show? What do you got going on? Josh, what's new?
Well, I melted 8 people.
Yes.
I kind of forgot what it did when I used it. That's okay. Yes, I'm doing well. Working on some projects in the background, but mostly just grinding away at XP. I don't know.
There you go. I hear you. Just living. Well, all right. Well, there you go, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. And we'll actually see each other next week.
Yes, I'm excited.
There you go. And
See that car door.
yes. Anna, how's it going?
Hello, it's going. When you said that what their faces saw everything, I thought of the Eye of Sauron. And I was like, oh, what is this? Yes. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me redo
Gone
my
through
yes.
the Black Gate of Mordor? Is that what Jim designed this area on? Oh, gosh.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm kind of pumped for that. But hello, I'm Anna, or Cywork Pizza on the interwebs. I guess I have video games going on and life choices.
Oh, that's
it.
That's juicy.
That's juicy. I just need to make up my mind. But juicy juice. Anyway, how are you doing, TK? Same.
I'm doing very well, thank you. Sorry, I'm updating the notes.
I also updated the notes for you.
Really?
I sometimes make up.
I put in yeet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All I
Important
ever...
stuff,
Oh my god.
Yes. Are you ready to talk to you?
No. Yeah,
All right.
I'm
So should we
ready.
skip you?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hi, it's me. It's PK. Thank you for joining us today. I had a delightful time. I write spooky stories on the internet, and if you like to watch spooky stories, but you don't like to pay for them, you can go to my website and you can read some for free. Not all of them, but some.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my website is tkjreds.com. You should go there. Very excited. Dragon Plus came out today, and there was a small highlight for Tales from the Mists. If anybody watches Tales from the Mist, there is a teaser that says what season 2 and the Descent live show that we're doing is going to be about. But that's it. Okay.
Cool.
Goodbye. Buy my book.
There you go. And Lindy, still, there you go. How's it going?
FedEx has not shown up yet, so
Shut
I'm
up.
mad. But,
It's your computer.
it's fine. I'll survive it. But if it ain't here tomorrow,
Yeah.
Twitter gonna be blowing up with just
Yeah,
my
right.
rage. But anyways, I had super duper fun. I think Caspia might be in love, as she finally found something that didn't die when she hugged it, which the first time, pretty much, basically. So she's full of emotions right now.
It's just in a lot of pain. No.
I mean, no pain, no gain. And she got a warm, fuzzy hug. She's happy. She's really happy. And as soon as they're done with this business for, her boss, she's gonna go look for him and be like, hey, we should hang out. You want to see a movie or something? I don't know. They land up between two rivers equivalent of going to see a movie. It's probably like some sort of a gladiatorial event or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Watching Gildan do shenanigans. I don't know, something.
Right.
But yeah.
the
Oh, no,
Gildan
you go see
Family
the Servitors
Singers.
perform live. They're all like musicals, right? They do all that kind
Servitor
of stuff.
Glee Club.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like a necromancer that travels around and just like has an animated.
Yeah, like a play. That'd be
Yeah. Yeah.
I want that as a character. You're giving me ideas for my necromancer that I play on Saturdays. But anyways, you can find me online at Laughful of Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I play and /DM about a dozen or so tabletop RPGs a week. Specifically on my channel, Monday and Tuesday nights are when we do super fun D&D set in Tal'Dorei and Ravenloft. Also, I think, this Saturday on Hollow Tales channel, you can check out Unhallowed, which is a super fun, like, Victorian steampunky horror type game, and I'm really excited for it. So check it out.
There you go. There you go. And Grant.
Hey everybody, I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. I'm have a bunch of books coming out. The Essence of Invisible Sun by Monty Cook Games. I'm a contributor on, where they've booked a bunch of artists, philosophers, etc. to talk about the Invisible Sun game. So I will have a contribution to that book. Villains and Layers 2 and the DM's Guild. I designed the Sad Boy Skeleton, Babar Bush Blossom. Check it out. Jeff Stevens is a great author and creator, and I'm a fan of his work. There are 2 books by 2C Gaming that I was also a contributing author on, the TPK Bestiary and the TPK Handbook Volume 2. So if you want challenging encounters, if you want a bunch of adventure hooks on how to use challenging high CR level monsters and D&D campaigns, as well as custom design monsters and the strategies to run them, it's a great book with a dynamic and unique approach, because it gives you varying degrees of challenge and strategies that you can use for your monsters. And they're all custom. And there's 2 top secret projects. One has been informally announced and will be announced soon. At the end of the show, there will be a teaser for that. And there's another one that's going to be super exciting, but let's just say I'm going to be making lots of soup with one of my favorite game companies before the year's over. And the soup will probably be like 260 pages, and it will help support my family. So check it out when it comes.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, we are glad that you guys showed up, and hopefully everybody has a great weekend. There's no Lost Girls John's finale. Yes.
The Q&A this week.
Q&A. Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a Q&A on Sunday. So it's only going to be about an hour or so, and we have an announcement to make then too.
Oh, yes, there is an announcement. I do know about the announcement. So yes, if Lost Girls is your thing, still stop by on Sunday and check out that Q&A and announcement. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.